Hello everybody, welcome back to day 9 of the League's Catalyst daily reveals and teasers for the relics. There's only 5 more days left after today's teaser, and of course the League will be dropping on the 15th. I'm sure I'll see you guys there. Yesterday we were finally granted the juice after seeing some underwhelming combat relics, Ascension, with a chance to boost your stats to 255 and combining all the powers of all the god books and that free 12% crit chance from the Erethdor's Grimoire. Worth mentioning real quick, just as a little addendum to yesterday's video, they have since confirmed that Erethdor with this relic will be permanently active, so you'll always get 12% crit. It will have passive combat stats on this book equal to or more than the regular book. Most books have like 7 in all styles and a bit of prayer, so it's going to have some stats as well, which is nice. And also they've clarified a little bit on how the actual buff is going to work. Every 4.8 seconds you will roll which book procs, and multiple books can indeed proc at the same time. And the JMod said that messing about on their test world using console commands and stuff, they were able to proc every single book at the same time. So Ascension's going to be incredible. You're going to have the crit constantly, and then every time it rolls for a book activating, it'll roll randomly if like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or all of these books will activate at once. So this thing's going to be absolutely nuts, confirmed. But today's reveals, we're finally getting the inevitable teleport relics that we talked about yesterday and the day before. So we're going to get a 3-way choice here. We're going to have either Fairy's Flight, Assassin's Insights or Voidwalker. Now purely due to the design and the colour of these 3 relics, I'm 99.9% sure that these are going to be tier 3. As you can see from the image here from the very initial League's reveal teaser video, all the relics in the tier 3 slot, they're a lot brighter than the other relics, and you'll be able to see here the icons for these. They're bright and green and circular, and they're almost certainly these blurred out ones here at tier 3. So I'm calling that almost definitely it's going to be tier 3 teleport relics, and we're going to have a choice of 3, so we'll see what we're going to get. First one, Fairy's Flight, coming back from old school RuneScape Leagues. You get a fairy mushroom that teleports you to any fairy ring, spirit tree, or farming patch. So it's not a teleport to every leprechaun, but I'm fairly sure that basically means the same thing. As you can see here, they have previewed the interfaces. So we've got the standard in-game spirit tree and fairy ring interface. Of course, the fairy rings in RS3, you can set up to, I think, 10 favorites and use a keybind to quickly teleport to the ones you want in the lists. That's really nice. This is going to be the interface for teleporting to the patches. As you can see, there's just every kind of patch. Some of them are grayed out if you haven't completed the quests. So taking this relic early at tier 3 is not going to give you like sneaky access to the Trollheim herb patch before you have done the quest for it. It's going to be some good utility for this one. As you can see, you'll be able to tele to RD, which is something you can do after a diary anyway. Straight to Catherby, which is already quite near a lodestone. Fally Farm, of course, you can teleport with the Lumbridge Ring. Garden of Carid, there's an unlimited teleport item there. There's a tele to Harmony Island as well, but in this game there's no herb patch there. It's just a single allotment. That one's largely useless. West of Port Phasmatis, there is 3 daily teles to that normally, so if you're doing more than 3 herb runs a day, that's really useful. Straight to Prith. Wilderness you can get to if you just do Wilderness Diary 1. There's unlimited teles on the sword, so that's not super useful. Trollheim's one of the more annoying ones to get to, so that's nice, but you can later in the game also make Trollheim teleport tablets in your house. So the herb patches specifically are not super useful, but of course you can have remote access to all the spirit trees. Not massive, to be honest, because already if you have access to a teleport to the RD farm, there's already a spirit tree patch there that you can plant, and it's the closest one to a telly. If you've done the RD Elite Diary, then it puts you literally 2 or 3 tiles away from a spirit tree anyway. Fairy rings, if you've just completed the Legends quest in this game, then you do get the Legends Cape, which can teleport you next to a fairy ring. So those 2 aren't massive, but this new teleport to any farming patch thing will be pretty big. Here are some of the locations of patches you'll potentially be able to tele to. The Hops patch north of Lumbridge, if hops are included. Intrana, which will be a nice one. I don't know if this will allow you to skip not being able to bring weapons to Intrana or not. One near Yanil, one near Magruber's Wood, not super useful. You can already tele quite near those. Bush patches though, doing bush runs are really good on an Iron Man because there's a lot of good potion secondaries you can grow from bush patches. You'll be able to get onto Etceteria, which is normally quite annoying to get to. South of RD near the monastery is already very easy. It only needs RD Easy Diary and you get unlimited teles there. The Remington patch though, kind of nice, puts you near your player own house portal if you want to do old-fashioned construction, so that could be interesting. Of course, the Champions Guild already close to the Varrock Lodestone. And then tree patches, you'll be able to tele to Lumbridge Tree, Varrock Castle, the park in Falador, over to Tavali, into the Gnome Stronghold as well, which will be useful, and into your Woodcutter's Grove if you build that in the fort, as well as into another location inside Prith. And now this does sound really, really powerful, but one thing to think about with teleport relics in RuneScape 3 is there are already so many teleports in the game. Whatever you're doing, whatever spellbook you're on, you can teleport to any of these places at any time if you're out of combat, and it costs you nothing. You can already teleport to Ardi, which puts you near near a bunch of stuff. You can already teleport near to a spirit tree and near to a fairy ring in the game anyway, and almost all of the farming patches you'll probably want to use are relatively close to some tellies as well. If you're going the farming frenzy relic where you don't need to do farm runs, then this first relic is a lot worse because you're not going to need access to every patch. You're just going to need access to one of each type of patch that's vaguely near a lodestone. Certainly usable, but I'm hoping these next two are going to be a little bit more interesting. Number 2 here, Assassin's Insight provides a teleport to all major Slayer targets. Grants the Skull of Slaying that allows you to teleport to any Slayer Master, Slayer Dungeon, and a bunch of Slayer monsters. You get an access to every single Slayer Master. Now this is something you get anyway if you just get 99 Slayer, which is already quite fast in RuneScape 3, because Slayer in RuneScape 3 goes all the way to 120, so just getting the 13 mil XP. It's not going to take you that long, especially with these combat relics and increased XP rates, but it also teleports you to a bunch of Slayer-specific dungeons. Once again though, there's no real dungeon in this game that's very far away from a teleport, and we don't even get to see the full list of these, which is kind of annoying. But there are also a ton of miscellaneous teleports directly to monsters that aren't inside dungeons. Very interesting. Honestly, not probably, again, super powerful, just because, like I say, teleporting to every Slayer Master is already a feature of the Slayer Cape at 99, and then obviously you can get things like Slayer Rings, Platinum Jewelry that teleports you inside a bunch of dungeons. Any of these dungeons here that are a resource dungeon, then you can also teleport to all of those with the 99 Dungeoneering Cape, which again, probably achievable during the league. But the miscellaneous tellies over to Slayer monsters might be useful for you. We can't really break down all of these exactly unless we see an entire list of all these teleports, but sadly we've just got a screenshot and they haven't actually filled it out in the FAQ. So a little bit of a shame, but there's Assassin's Insight. Honestly, about on par with this first one. It depends how you want to play. Option 3, we've got the Voidwalker relic, which is the one that sounds the most interesting. So this gives you the Abyssal Conduit, a powerful item that gives you unlimited tellies from all the following jewelry, and then it lists them all here. Basically, if you don't know, there's an item in the game called the Passage of the Abyss, which is basically this, but allows you to combine any 6 of these jewelries together to get unlimited tellies from them. It's an item you make with late game invention, but what this is going to do, it's going to give you access to every telly from all of these and put them all together. Now this has a ton of teleports on it, of course, but what this isn't going to do is give you anything that you're not going to have access to outside of playing a league. It's just going to give you every kind of jewelry that you could craft yourself, but in terms of convenience, I think this is probably one of the better of the 3, just because a lot of these teleports you're actually going to use, especially if you're planning to quest. I mean, just having an unlimited Amulet of Glory early is really nice. Get yourself to Draenor Village. There's like 100 different quest steps around Draenor. Here's a list of every single teleport you'll be able to make. Also worth mentioning, you can actually make the Passage of the Abyss itself if your invention is 118, and all you need is an alchemical onyx. Now if you take the Perk Mania relic from a couple of days ago, then all you need of course is high invention, which will be easy for you to get, and also an onyx, and then you could just make one of these and basically get the effect of this relic. Of course, a Passage of the Abyss only holds any 6 of these jewelry pieces, so if you made 2 of them, you'd have 12 out of the 13 of these. These don't have unlimited charges normally, but you recharge them with fortunate components, but you're going to have unlimited fortunate components if you do take Perk Mania. So I wouldn't recommend picking Voidwalker if you're planning to go the invention perk one. So this third one I think is probably general use, maybe the strongest, just because a lot of these teleports take you to places you're probably actually going to want to go. Yes, you'll be able to make all this jewelry anyway, but if you're not planning to go Perk Mania, I think a lot of these teleports will be useful for just playing the game and teleporting around. Edgeville Bank, Karamja, Banana Plantation, Draenor Village, and Alcarid Shanty Pass. Edgeville Monastery, a couple of quests there. The brand new Delver's Anklet, it teleports you inside the Brimhaven Dungeon, Fremennik Slayer Dungeon, and Polypore Dungeon for Ganodermics, which once again is one of the main features of this second relic, Assassin's Insight, that teleports you to a bunch of Slayer dungeons. The Delver's Anklet's already going to give you 3 tellies inside some Slayer dungeons that are likely on this list. Then you've got a telly to level 18 Wilderness, the Nexus, which is just south of Lumbridge, and the Desert Bandit Camp, which will be good for AFK training melees or something. That'll be really nice. Like I say, you can also use the Ferocious Ring unlimited tellies with this one, and you can use that to teleport to Koradal and pick up new tasks, or to Morvran if you want to pick up tasks from the Slayer Master in Prif Dinas as well. Bunch of useful ones over on the Games Necklace, a lot of dailies and weeklies. You can teleport to the Agaroth boss, which is repeatable every week for some XP. You can use this to get to Corp, but I think you will have to do a quest in this game to access Corp. I don't think you'll get him straight away. And then you can actually use this to teleport to Berg de Rot as well, which is really huge, but you do have to play Temple Trekking first for that. Runecraft Guild, Cooking Guild, Invention Guild, Crafting Guild as well, kind of nice. The Mining Guild, always good, is a nice telly close to the Artisan's Workshop in Falador. And of course the Fishing Guild with this one will put you near the Travelling Merchant if there's anything good on the Travelling Merchant during the League. Desert Eagle's Eyrie, that's nice, gets you near Uza before you've done the diaries, and of course the Outpost and the Wizard's Tower. So just because we have the most tellies that we can actually look at with this third relic, it's looking the most exciting, but there might be one or two really juicy ones in Assassin's Insight or Fairy's Flight that we can't currently look at because they've not revealed them. I don't know why they do this with the blogs. I don't know why they reveal relics and then look at this scroll bar. They've only revealed like 1/3 of the tellies, but you're going to get a lot of use out of Fairy's Flight. I don't know how many times I ever actually use a spirit tree, honestly. Fairy rings are useful, don't get me wrong. Before you've done Legends Quest, your best bet is to complete the RD Easy Diary and run to that one that's near Tower of Life. At tier 3, maybe you've not done that yet, but I mean, you can do that quite early and you can be kind of near a fairy ring. Obviously this will be quicker. You can use fairy rings to get to a load of places that are useful, you know, do your mushroom runs over in Mauritania, maybe just to go to the Glacier Cave after Ritual of the Majorat to get the damage buff if you're planning to do any God Wars 1, teleporting to the herb patch and allotment patches. Again, there's just so many tellies to all of these already, but then you could say the same again about this Assassin's Insight. I can see why you'd want to pick this one if, like I say, you just want to hit the League hard, pick all the PVM relics, just telly to a Slayer Master, pick up a task, teleport to the task, do the task, telly to the Slayer Master, repeat. Even though it looks like there's a lot more on this list, if you do scroll down, we can't actually see what they all are. I mean, there's one, for example, you can't normally get to easily, the Asgardian Ice Dungeon. You can get to Port Sarim and run down, but that will teleport you inside near the Frost Dragons and the Wyverns, and it does look like a lot of these are locked as well on all 3 of these relic choices behind having actual access to them. It's not going to like skip quests and let you go to like monsters you haven't unlocked. So for that reason as well, they're not particularly exciting. I'm personally kind of disinterested in all 3 of these. It's not that all 3 of them are really good and it's a tough choice which one's the best. It's that really you don't need any of these, so it doesn't really matter. I think this third one's going to have the most general use if you're going to be sending quests. I think the second one here is going to have the most use if you just want to PVM and slay, and I think the first one, quest uses for the fairy rings, and maybe if you're not going farming frenzy and you actually want to do farm runs, this one's going to save you a lot of time. But as they stand now, they're really not interesting. They're all probably equally as powerful. I would just say you decide what you're planning to do with your time on the League. If you're going to full send quests, I would probably take either Fairy's Flight or Voidwalker, or if you just want to full send Slayer, I'd just take this second one and not worry too much about the others. Anyway, that's today, guys. That's all 3 of our choices, almost certainly tier 3. Let me know if you're interested in these or not, but I'll see you for tomorrow's video where hopefully there'll be a little bit more juice than today. Take care, bye.